This is the new Anker Powerhouse 767, and today I'm going to compare it against the Ecoflow Delta Pro. I bought the Ecoflow myself a few months ago, and Anker sent me their Powerhouse for review. However, I don't depend on my channel for my financial livelihood, so I'm going to give you my completely unbiased opinion on both of these. Jumping right into it, a unique feature of the Anker Powerhouse is it has its own unique little built-in light, and I thought I would just light myself with it for this entire video. Which is still kind of true because I'm using another Powerhouse 767 to power my entire studio right now. I've also got Anker and Ecoflow's solar panels, and we'll compare those too. This is basically Anker's answer to the heavy-duty battery generator market that's been popping up and become really popular recently. As far as I'm aware, this is the first big battery generator with GaN prime tech, which allows it to operate more efficiently than batteries without it. This is actually my first time hearing about GaN prime, which means gallium nitride and power IQ. Basically, it charges faster and it weighs less, and I assume because it stays a little bit cooler because it's more efficient, then the fans can be a little bit quieter. I don't know, that's what I've experienced versus the Ecoflow Delta Pro. And when the fans do turn on with the Anker Powerhouse, the Powerhouse's loudest mode is quieter than Ecoflow's quietest mode with the fans on. Also, the Anker can power more things and be charged with more solar before the fans turn on. It seems like anytime I go above like 60 or 70 watts, the fans on the Ecoflow will turn on. Look at that, almost 600 watts. Fans still haven't come on. There we go. It's very quiet. Yep, that is quite a bit louder. The fans on the Ecoflow Delta Pro have actually become so loud and annoying that I stopped using it in my office because it would interrupt my calls and ruin my videos. But the Anker Powerhouse is just not nearly as distracting, and it's been powering my whole studio for this whole video, and the fans still haven't turned on. This is the one behind me. It's currently powering 150 watts and being charged with about 65 watts of solar. We did just have a blizzard. The weather is not amazing today. My original idea was just to power my studio with my 400 watt solar panel from Ecoflow, which is a 48 volt panel. And because the Anker Powerhouse accepts between 12 and 60 volts, I'm still in the clear with just that panel. But Anker did also send me their own package with 2 of the 200 watt solar panels. And if you're the adventuring type, I think Anker's panels would be a lot more portable than the Ecoflow 400 watt panel. I needed to build a big PVC frame to keep the big floppy panel sturdy enough and pointed towards the sun, which cost me another $80 in parts and some of my time. The 400 watt panel is pretty large even when folded, so it might not even fit in a small car. So I really haven't ever taken it out of this little PVC frame once I built it. The Anker panels, though, are really intelligently designed, and each one has 3 separate kickstands with their own little leveling guides built in. So getting it set up and pointed towards the sun is really easy and really quick. It also has nice little magnets to snap all the kickstands back into place for easy transport when you're packing up. No question, the Anker is the better designed solar panel. Another point for the Anker Powerhouse versus the Ecoflow is I bet a majority of people would not be able to safely lift the Ecoflow Delta Pro into their own vehicle for transport by themselves. It weighs about 100 pounds, and it's an awkward, large shape to carry. Even if you can wheel it to your car, it's still super heavy, and you could still definitely hurt yourself trying to carry it. The Anker Powerhouse 767 is only 67 pounds, and though it's still heavy, most adults, I think, would be able to lift it briefly without hurting themselves. Easy. If you're investing in just like one system under $4,000, with Anker, you will reach a higher amount of storage capacity than you will with Ecoflow at a smaller price tag, and you'll still be able to carry everything in the package more easily. My only issue with the battery is that the cord kind of sticks out really far from the long side of the unit, making it awkward to snug it up against a wall. That all being said, let's run some numbers. The Ecoflow Delta Pro has a capacity of 3.6 kilowatt hours, and it can deliver up to 3.6 kilowatts of output. But it also costs $3,600, $1 per watt for both output and storage. The Anker Powerhouse 767 has a capacity of 2 kilowatt hours and can power up to 2.4 kilowatts of stuff, and only costs about $2,000. So $1 per watt for storage, but 20% more output for the dollar. You can buy an additional battery for the Powerhouse, giving you an additional 2 kilowatts for $1,000, which is 50 cents per watt hour, which is a really good value. The Ecoflow Delta Pro's extra battery is available for 75 cents per watt hour and costs $2,700. What I'm seeing consistently across the board here is that the Anker products are a significantly better value for the dollar. The Ecoflow Delta Pro and their whole system does have a few advantages though. They do have a significantly higher maximum capacity of up to 25 kilowatt hours if money is no object to you, and Wi-Fi, so you can enable or disable power remotely, and a mature ecosystem of products and firmware that will operate with fewer compromises when you're trying to go off-grid or during a blackout situation. The biggest issue that I've considered with Ecoflow is the maximum solar input is still only 1,600 watts. If you were going to spend that much money to build out that kind of battery system, you would probably be preparing for a much larger solar system to power it than what the Ecoflow can support. In my mind, the only real advantage to buying a whole setup like what the Ecoflow offers is that you can more easily integrate it into your whole house. But then you can easily take that entire system with you if you decided to move, preventing the need to buy another battery system for your next property. But you can get a more permanent battery setup for far less money and have the capabilities to charge it with significantly more solar power if you just got it set up as a permanent fixture, and it would still increase the value of your property. So it's not really that big of a value add. One not great thing with the Powerhouse though is the solar power and AC power cannot be used to charge a single unit at the same time. But you can plug up to 1 kilowatt of solar into it, and in full sun that would give you a charge from 0% to full in 2 hours. But for reference, I charged both my Powerhouses and the extra battery from 0% to full in a single day with just my 800 watts of solar panels. I did realize that you could technically daisy chain multiple Powerhouses together and keep them all charged with one single solar panel string. For example, I could charge one unit with a solar panel and then charge the following unit by plugging it into the AC output of this unit. Then I would put the entire load of whatever I was trying to actually power on the second unit, and while the second is sitting at 100% capacity, it would pass through power from the first. And when the first unit's battery is depleted, it will then stop generating AC when it hits 1%. Then the battery from the second unit will start draining. And when the first unit sees solar power input again, it will start charging again. The only problem with this kind of setup, beyond losing some power due to the inefficiencies of going from DC to AC power, is that once the unit hits 1%, the AC turns off and you have to manually re-engage it. If I could configure it to where if the battery hits 5%, it'll stop the AC power, but then it'll start the AC power when it hits 50%. It would be a lot easier to daisy chain a lot of these and kind of like horizontally scale your battery storage. But right now, the only way to turn it on once it starts receiving solar input again is to go with something like the Ecoflow Delta Pro. They added that feature with firmware, and I hope that Anker improves their firmware to allow it to turn on once it receives a certain amount of solar power. That would make this unit much more valuable to me, especially if you have it in like a shed and it was powering Wi-Fi and that Wi-Fi controlled the sprinklers or something. You can only really do that right now with something like the Ecoflow. Because right now the AC just automatically turns off and you have to manually flip it on when you're ready to use it again. Charge configuration would also allow us to plug solar panels into every unit to maximize charging instead of just the last unit in that hypothetical daisy chaining situation. Probably the most important thing here though is warranty. Anker offers a 5-year warranty on their product, and their product is rated to last for 10 years. Ecoflow's warranty is only 2 years, and when you're investing in an expensive tool to fuel your adventures, a product that is advertised as drop-proof and also has a 5-year warranty is something worth strongly considering, because you know it will do what it's supposed to do for a reasonable amount of time. And Anker's been around a while, so you know that company is not going anywhere. The Powerhouse is also a newer product, so I would assume they're working on firmware updates that will add some of the improved functionality that I hoped for in this video. In the end, I think if you were deciding between the Ecoflow Delta Pro and the Anker Powerhouse 767, I would probably go with the Anker Powerhouse 767. It's got a longer warranty, It's less expensive. It has GaN Prime tech, which means you can charge it from 0% to 100%. You don't have to worry about that like only going down to 20 or 80%. It's easier to carry and move around. And the only reason I would consider really getting the Ecoflow Delta Pro system at this point is if you needed to power more than 2.4 kilowatts of stuff at the same time. How much is 2.4 kilowatts? You can power a portable air conditioner and a space heater at the same time. You can power a microwave, pretty much any standard household appliance. These things are incredible. If you want to get your own Anker Powerhouse 767, there's a link to where you can find it in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.